Hi guys, it's Mike. I wanted to talk about this bass. It's one of my Zoot Boudicas. It's a 32-inch scale. The reason I want to talk about it is because at the moment it's not been commissioned. There's no customer for it, so it may become available. Now, I started to make this bass, must have been nearly 2 years ago, with the idea of using it as a test bed for the development of my Waller-like multi-coil pickups. But one of my customers who ordered one of the very early Zoot Waller-likes sort of agreed that I could use his bass as the test bed for those particular pickups. So that's what actually happened. So this bass, the body of this bass, just became pushed to one side and forgotten about, really. So I sort of decided that I'd probably finish it and try out a new preamp with it as well. I think the whole idea was that it was there, it was doing nothing, and I ordered a preamp from Russia, which is called the Tonepillz V2, which is basically a copy of, but with enhancements of, the tone pump, if anyone's familiar with the Tonepillz E.Q. So I thought, hey, look, listen, I've got that bass that I was going to use as a test bed for my pickups. Maybe I should finish it and use it as a test bed for the EQ that I've got from Russia. So that's where we are at the moment. So the actual bass itself is ash with a black carina, or some people call it limber, top. And I've been able to do some acoustic pockets. If I turn the bass over, I've been able to do some acoustic pockets inside, because the ash is actually English ash, and as anyone knows, that comes up quite heavy. So I was able to, if I can hold the, able to sort of pocket this out with acoustic pockets inside, some chambers, and you can see how deep they go. Now, because I use a lot of CAD software, I was able to design this in CAD, and that showed me in 3 dimensions, you know, where the pockets would go, and that still allowed me then to do the belly contours, the forearm contouring, the contouring on the top of the bass, without actually breaking through into the acoustic pockets. So I knew where the margins would be. So it's come up now a reasonable weight. I'm not going to say the weight at the moment, because obviously it's subjective to when I get everything else fitted on it, and the neck and the pickup and the hardware, then I'll weigh it and give a final weight then. But it's come up at really nice, reasonable weight. You know, it's not heavy at all, in fact. And as I say, so that's the chambering in there. So moving over to the neck on this, I decided to use a piece of Zircote or Zeracoti, some people pronounce it differently, for the fingerboard. This hasn't been waxed or oiled or anything yet. This is just the basic fret job, and it's a 32-inch scale, and it's 38mm at the nut, and the bridge on the body will be 19 spacing, so very much Fender Jazz territory, but in a 32-inch sort of scale. And the sort of headstock end of the neck is a C profile, and as it goes along, it goes into a sort of a flattened D towards the end. It has mother of pearl, genuine mother of pearl dot inlays, whether I can get any detail on that, and white side dots on the edge. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. So the idea is to finish this bass, and I've made a pickup. I've got to finish this and put the actual bobbins in. The bobbins are sort of laying over there, ready to go. So I've got to build this up, and this will be the actual pickup that will go in it. So it will have a multi-coil pickup as a wall style, and the Tonepillz V2 E.Q, I'm going to wire it so this will become a bass treble on a stack, this will be the mid control, and I'm going to wire the multi-coil pickup to the old way of wiring it, like what we used to do, which allows me to then introduce a series parallel switch here. So you've got series parallel, bass, beg your pardon, bass treble on a stack, series parallel switch, the mid control, and the volume control. But on the volume control, I'm going to introduce a push-pull, so that will then allow us to do active or passive, depending on how you like it. So I just sort of like thought I'd do that, so I'd get a passive option as well. So push-pull on the volume for that. Biflex truss rod, two-way Biflex truss rod. So that is pretty much what the bass is going to be. So now I want to talk about the Tonepillz 2. Now, this is what I received from my friend just outside Moscow. He makes these in a small workshop. I think he's a one-man band, but I'm very, very impressed with the build quality of this. It doesn't look much on this side, but if I turn that over, you'll notice that it's got a lot going on. And I have actually heard one of these. There's a couple of YouTube videos. You have to go searching for them because they obviously originate from Russia. But there's a three-way dip switch on it. I can get my finger in there. I'm pointing there. And it's also got, if I can zoom in even closer, because everything on it is pretty much miniature. Here, there is a overall gain control, which allows for the overall gain of this circuit, meaning that you can run it with either passive or active pickups. So that, to me, and I've seen a hell of a lot of preamps in my life, that's pretty damn neat for one guy in a small workshop just outside, you know, the outskirts of Moscow. Pretty impressive stuff. And as I say, I've actually heard it on a few videos on YouTube and quite impressed, but obviously not heard it with a multi-coil pickup before. So that's what we're doing here. Now the dip switches on this allow for manipulation, if you want, of the treble control. So you can see from the diagram here that the way you set that three-way dip switch will give you different response curves on the treble control. And if I zoom in on here, you'll see that it shows the gain as well. So that's the Tonepillz 2, and I'm going to be running it on 9 volts. I normally do my basses at 18 for headroom, but this particular one, I've already routed out a 9 volt cavity on the back of the body for a Goto single quick change Goto box there. And as I say, the cavity still needs to be screened for RF, you know, copper screening for RF shielding. So that's that. So the next part of the video will be hopefully this bass finished and built up, and an appraisal of the EQ with one of my multi-coil wall style pickups, and then I'll decide whether or not I want to sell it. And if I do, I'll probably give a price or an estimation of what I'm looking for, if anyone would be interested in it at all. But as I say, that'll all be at the end of the sound check, because I'm really quite excited about hearing this thing with that particular pickup and that EQ. Okay, speak soon.